We are underway for the first heat of the day. It seems like Catman has got a blinding start and has already pulled several car lengths on the rest of the field. Plenty of action and cars pirouetting at the first hairpin. Green flags waving by the time they get down to hairpin 2 though, and it is Chris Catman Turner leading the field by several kart lengths as they get down towards the time sweep.
Yeah, and as they go down to the back end, there's not a lot of action, people being tentative downhill for the first time, and also obviously you can lunge going into that downhill section, but it's a very high risk manoeuvre, and up the hill comes Chris Catman Turner, Stephen Williams in third place, Kirk Bull in second.
Now look at that, Kirk Bull has pretty much halved that gap that Catman had. So I don't know if he made a mistake in the second half of that lap, but Kirk Bull is reeling in Catman's and he's going for the lead. They're bumping bumpers on the way down into the hairpin. He draws just a bit of an overlap there, and Stephen Williams has already joined the party as well. We have a 3-car battle for the lead as Bull gets an excellent run out of the second hairpin, bumps wheels with Catman and goes through into the lead, into the S's.
Now this will be up to Kirk Bull to defend here because he'll be vulnerable on the inside if he takes too much. He doesn't take a defensive line and actually he goes wide, and Catman Turner there with a little bit more experience takes the lead, and Stephen Williams tries to make a move into the back hairpin. Kirk Bull shuts the door, will be very unhappy to have let go of that lead, but he's popped up back in front, up the hill. This is a fantastic three-way fight.
Wow, this is absolutely incredible action to kick off the day. What were we saying about Catman? The wily old fox he is, and looking towards the inside of the first corner, but thinks better of it as they fly into the high-speed right-hander. Has he just got an overlap to get up the inside of hairpin 1? Kirk Bull leaves him a lot of space, and Catman reclaims the lead. Oh, he's coming back at him though on the inside of hairpin 2, and the lead changes hands once again, and this time Stephen Williams fancies a run at it, but he can't quite get alongside Catman into the S's.
Okay, so Kirk's got a little bit of a buffer now going through the snake and into that left-hander. Can he keep it straight this time? It's a lot better, but he's gone wide. It's not enough for Catman to go through. I think Stephen Williams is going to pop up into that hairpin. I think the first kart we see is going to be the number 11 of Stephen Williams as they round that final hairpin. Kirk Bull has managed to hold on, and it's Catman who's lost out here. He's not going to like that, but look, he'll definitely be placed for a lunge into that first hairpin.
Catman head down, trying to get every little bit of drag reduction he can through the flat-out final few corners, and Stephen Williams now making a move for the lead down the inside of hairpin 1. Bull once again has to leave some space, and Catman spins him round.
Oh, no.
There is contact down at hairpin 1, and Catman holds his hand up to apologise, and unfortunately Bull gets a little bit of a tap as he rejoins the circuit. Catman is now being swarmed through the S's. He's lost 2 more places.
I think Kirk Bull rejoined unsafely into his own twin brother there. We'll have to look back at the replay.
Oh, contact between the twins. That's going to be awkward at the next family gathering.
So as we see them coming out the hairpin, I have lost all track of who is part of this lead battle at the moment. Stephen Williams is clear, and then we've got 14 and 12, and that's Mark West and Nicholas Davison.
Yeah, Nicholas Davison very easily spotted with the Daniel Ricciardo tribute helmet. Black flag being shown to Chris Catman Turner, so unfortunately he will have to come into the pits and serve a penalty, presumably for that contact with Kirk Bull, as we have got 6 minutes remaining on the clock, and it looks like we have a very intense battle now for second place between Mark West and Nicholas Davidson.
So I can confirm it was an unsafe rejoin into his own twin brother from Kirk Bull there. Obviously he's the wronged party. It's not a disaster for him. He's still in 6th position. It's still going to be a great result for him. Kirk is a regular now in the A finals, and he is catching up with Craig, but in close pursuit behind him, he has got Rory Spiller as well making up that gap. So
Stephen Williams stretching his advantage out in the lead. It's going to be a perfect start to the day for him if he can keep it on track. 5.5 minutes remaining in this heat, but for second place between karts 14 and 12, Mark West and Nicholas Davison heading down now towards the first hairpin, and West just feels the need to cover the inside ever so slightly, and there is a couple of hand gestures being made there from Davison. Not sure what he is trying to communicate there or how he thinks Mark West is going to be able to see such gestures, but if they head down through the S's, once again, still Mark West leads Davidson.
He's saying, "You're a right turnip, you are, sir." Yeah, it looks like Kirk isn't making the progress actually into Woodbutcher, into Craig Bull, and it looks like Rory Spiller's making the gap up more. So it looks like Kirk's actually defending now. It's easy to get your head down after a little bit of a spin.
I've just seen Stephen Williams come past me, has a GoPro on the front of his car, so that's going to be providing some great footage of the battle he was having earlier. But 3.1 seconds now is his advantage. Absolutely mammoth as the battle for second place heads back down towards the hairpin, and West just a little bit wide out of the hairpin one. Does that give Davison enough of an impetus to try and make a move? He's still staring at the back of that number 14 car as they head back up towards the S's and back towards you, Spanners.
Apologies, I'm going to have to get myself ready. But yeah, looking at the back, that West battle, they look like they're just following each other home at the moment. And I think that's not too bad a tactic in that first heat. Do they want to be scrapping amongst themselves and let Craig Bull catch up and take away their places? I think they'd be smart to bring this home now.
Or is Davison just waiting for the opportunity to pounce? Maybe he'll leave it to the absolute last lap to make his move, because as you say, they do currently have a gap of around 2 seconds over the fourth place car of Craig Bull. And once again, West just getting a little wide. Actually, Davison draws an overlap this time. Can he use that to get the run out of the second hairpin? No, he cannot. But I think that is as close as it has been for second place as they went through the hairpins.
So it looks like Stephen Williams has got himself a clear victory here. Unless he manages somewhere to mess it up, but he's a very, very fast car. He's done lots of semi-pro racing, and he's very, very near the front in all of those events, and he has a nice clear lead here as number 10, number 14 and number 12 follow very closely.
Yeah, the number 10 car a lap down actually, so ignore that car in the middle of the battle. We are indeed looking, actually they're coming up to the traffic now through Conways. That's a brave place to try and have to get past the back markers, and Davison couldn't use that to try and get through, and once again gets a better run through the first hairpin, but he just cannot do anything with it by the time they get to the left-handed hairpin, and is still looking at the back of kart number 14 for second place. 2.5 minutes remain in this heat. Williams lead on that lap up to 4.5 seconds. He really is stretching his legs out there. Fastest lap of 51.7. So the sub 52 that we were looking at in free practice have indeed come through. And for second place this time, Davison was looking towards the inside of the first corner and ended up costing himself a couple of kart lengths there because he had to back out of it quite late. And he's going to have to try and gather that up in the final 2 minutes of this heat.
We've got Paul Catman, who's strolling around at the back, unfortunately after his penalty, trying to come back through. He is fast in the karts around him, but the gap is just a little bit too big right now.
Yeah, he'll certainly be disappointed with that because he'll be looking for a spot in the B-class final at worst, I think. Of course, he was in second place in our B final at the last event at Ella Park, and this is not the start to the proceedings that he was hoping for. Just checking to see if the last lap board is coming out. No, not quite yet. We will have 2 more laps of this heat. And that battle for second place, the gaps are just stretching out a little bit. Now West had a good 0.4 of a second over Davison as they came across the timing line. Although Davison seems to have had a good run through the first couple of corners on this lap. And is he going to leave it to the last lap to try and make a move? We've seen him have a couple of looks, but we haven't seen an honest-to-goodness attempt on that second place just yet. For now, it is still Mark West in control.
As they're coming into the bottom part of the circuit, going past some back markers, doesn't get held up. Oh, actually West has gone off the track, and Davison is right on his tail. Where are they going to be when they come from behind the hut? Oh, they are side by side. Davison is now right tucked up in his slipstream, and he's going to push him across the line.
And the final lap board could not come out at a more timely moment as Davison is now looking towards the inside of Conways. He tried this a lap ago, he had to back out of it. Is that going to force West out wide? Can he get the overlap? Now West covers the inside for the hairpin. They're coming up to a yellow flag zone because there is a spinner down at hairpin 1, and that stopped Davidson having any run down the inside. But it is as close as it has been all race for second place. Stephen Williams out in command in the front of this race, but for second place, Mark West is really having to get his elbows out now to hold on to that second place spot.
He's got a decent little gap going into the final sector, but Davison is quicker through the last 2 corners at the bottom of the track. But there is not really much of a gap. I think Williams has got this nice and secure as he comes up the back straight, but as they come out the hut, West still has the lead. Davison tucked up straight behind him, but we are going to have, that's our 1, 2, 3.
Yep, Stephen Williams takes the first victory of the day, and in second place it will be Mark West, just holding off Nicholas Davison there. A fantastic start to the action for our 2022 Missed Apex karting event at Buckmore Park. Thrilling battle for the lead, but ultimately Stephen Williams victorious by 5.7 seconds out there ahead of Mark West as he was battling. It is the Ball twins who come next. Craig ahead of Kirk in 4th and 5th, then Rory Spiller, Owen Morgan, David English, Brad Schooling, and Cat Montana did just break into the top 10 on that last lap there.